Before we begin, as normal, can we just request that everybody just moves a bit forward to make space for those newcomers? Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Also, just a few announcements. On Saturday, inshallah, around about 8 p.m., there might be a change. We'll update you on that. But around about 8 p.m., there'll be a program, question and answer, for the youth only under the age of 30. And that will be taking place at the residence of Brother Feroz Mukhi. Thank you very much for opening your doors to us. We would just like to get a rough idea of how many of the youth will be attending. So after the majlis, inshallah, hang around, put your name on a piece of paper outside and let us know so that we can cater accordingly. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين خاتم النبيين سيدنا وسيد الأولين والآخرين أبا القاسم محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المنتجبين المنتخبين المظلومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. My respected brothers and sisters, my elders and learned scholars, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today, inshallah, we will be looking at the role of the youth in contemporary society, taking examples from both the Quran, the Sunnah Nabawiyya, and the platform of reform which is known as Karbala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran al-Kareem, Surah 21, Al-Anbiya, verse 60. And to read the whole story, if you want to read the full story, it begins from verse 51 going forward, but we're focusing on ayah number 60. Where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. قالوا, they said, we heard of a youth who mentioned our gods in bad terms. يقال له Ibrahim. He has a name of Ibrahim. The story here begins that Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam, who is the father of all the Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and Ibrahim, he addresses his people and he says to them, have you taken these idols to be your gods? And the people refuse to take reason from Ibrahim alayhi salamullah. So one day they have this event where they go out of town and they do whatever it is that they do. While they were gone, Ibrahim decides that he shall destroy these idols. But upon destroying the idols, he leaves the largest idol. Now we're not talking here largest in size. We're talking as in the God of all gods, the boss of all bosses in that community. And Ibrahim brings the axe. Some narrations say he leaves it at the feet. Some say he leaves it at the shoulder of the idol. When the people return, they say, who did this to our gods? Who desecrated the holiness and the sanctity of our idols? So then this verse comes in. They say, we heard a youth mention them, our gods, that he was being disrespectful. You notice how the youth are always the ones who bring in change. And the older community, and I'm not talking about this Jamaat in particular, but the older community tends to be the one that wants to stick to its own traditions. And this is a normal sunnah in life. This is a basic tradition in life. Because we want to pass on that which we believe to be valuable. But we must understand that change is imminent. And Imam Ali alayhi salamullah tells us, do not force your children to be like you, for Allah created them, a different generation for a different purpose. That means the problems that this generation may have had, the youth may be facing a different problem. especially those living in the West, their problem is not about understanding and just practicing, it's about understanding and promoting to a whole different variety of people. To the atheist, to the Jew, to the Christian, to the black, to the white, to everybody. Because that's the kind of life they live. They have different interactions on different levels. So their responsibility, their priorities are different to ours. And today, inshallah, we want to address them. But for the meantime, let us return to this verse of the Quran. They said, we heard a youth mention them negatively, i.e. the idols. يُقَالُ لَهُ Ibrahim. His name is Ibrahim. So they bring Ibrahim alayhi salamullah and they say, Ibrahim, who did this to our gods? And this is a very important moment in the history of humanity. Ibrahim's response is one full of wisdom, intellect, rational argument, and not a youth who is rebellious. Sometimes our youth are rebellious. We'll come on to that, why they are rebellious. But a true youth who really believes in his values never speaks ill to his elders, because the moment you speak ill to your elders, you destroy your whole argument, because they do not see you as an intellectual individual. They will always see you as young, rebellious, and somewhat spoilt. So as the youth, if you strongly believe in your ideals, and you believe that there is reason for change, you must address that in an intellectual and rational way. Let us see how Ibrahim addresses his community. He says, why don't you ask the big God who destroyed the little gods, if he is able to answer you? As in, if he is your version of Allah, and he is your God, creator of the heavens and the earth, he's the one you pray to for protection. He was unable to protect the other gods, and more to the point, he's not even able to guide you on who's the killer of these gods. So why do you worship that which is unable to speak or protect itself? In the Sunnah Nabawiyyah, we are told that this was the first time that freedom of thought took place in the community of Ibrahim. That the people really took a step back and they said, Apana, this guy is right. This God of ours can't even talk. He can't even protect himself. So why do we worship him? And there we saw people taking a step back and reforming themselves and coming forward to the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. We, the youth, must understand that there are two types of youth you can be. You can be rebellious and bring about no change and only problems to your community, or you could be an educated youth, one who is fueled with passion and intellect and a desire to see the betterment of the affairs of your community progress. And therefore you understand that before you better your community, you must better yourself. You must address your elders with respect. You must not take away anything from your elders, because let us be realistic. The generation that came before us, although they may not understand the problems that we face, but from their standpoint and from their point of view, they are sincere in that they want to do the best for us. They have established communities and they have put in hours and time and effort and funds, and they have volunteered in order to ensure that their youth remain on the wilayah of Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. So we cannot deny them that, and we cannot take that away from them, and we say to them, Ahsante sana, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you for all that you have done, but please take a seat now, relax, let us come on board, because there are some issues that you do not know. The two types of youth that you can be are the following two, and I will use the Arabic terminology because Arabic is very expressive. As we said, in Arabic you can say hub and you can say mawadda. Two types of different loves. There are also two types of different youths. And today I want the youth to really ask themselves, which of the two youth do I belong to? In Arabic, we say shabab, so we say shab and we say fata. In the Quran, Allah addresses Ibrahim as fata. He doesn't call him shabab. Why does Allah call Ibrahim fata? Shabab, some have said that it comes from the word shab. Shab, I think the mic is gone off. No, it's on. Sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Shab in the Arabic language is literally tumbleweed. Have you ever seen tumbleweed? The wind blows left, it goes left. The wind blows right, it goes right. It has no roots. It is a type of plant that is dead and not beneficial. And it's always just wandering this way and that way. Wherever the wind blows, it goes with it. It has no roots. It is not firm in anything. That is why not every youth in the Arabic language is called fata, but we say shabab, youth. Because as a youth, you are still not deeply rooted. You are not firm in ideology and belief, and therefore sometimes whimsical desires take you this way, and sometimes whimsical desires take you that way. Wherever the wind of desire blows, you follow. Because you are still young, immature. You still are not deeply rooted. Your faith may have not formed. Your ideology may not be complete yet. And therefore we address you as shabab. But fata is that youth who is so deeply rooted in truth that they are able to bring about a change, such as Ibrahim alayhi salam. Allah brought a change within his entire community when he was one of the youngest in that community. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. So now, am I a fata or am I a shab? Am I a person who one day is running around doing campaigns for Ahlul Bayt alayhim salamullah, and the next thing I'm promoting, I don't know, Jay-Z's latest album on my Facebook page, and I'm putting share and like and so on and so forth? Is it that one day I'm with Imam Hussein and the next day I'm somewhere else? What is my ideology here? Where do I fit? Am I deeply rooted in my beliefs, or am I just someone who gets blown this way and that way? You have to understand, the elder community can only see you in one of two ways, and it is how you portray yourself as an individual. Either they see you one day blowing this way and one day blowing that way, they will say this is a dead plant. It cannot bear fruit at the moment, and it has no roots. And wherever the desire takes it, it goes, or he or she goes. And therefore we will not invest time and money in this particular individual, because we can see from their actions it will not be beneficial, neither for them, nor for us, nor for the community as a whole. Or they can see that there stands before them a fata capable of changing the status quo and bringing about revolution, a spiritual revolution in changing the minds and the hearts of the people and promoting the cause of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salamullah, which is absolute and undiscriminating peace and prosperity in our community to begin with, our society second, and the globe as we go along and we try to reform wherever we can bring reform. If they see that within you, then they will invest in you, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looked upon the creation and found many shabab, but he did not find many fatas. When he found the fata like Ibrahim, Allah called him Khalilullah, the friend of Allah. Allah said, this is someone who I am going to invest my time in, and I am going to trust him with my knowledge, the secrets of the trade, and I am going to make him a prophet, but not any prophet, a prophet who has attained my friendship. Khalilullah, the intimate friend of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And later on I shall make him an imam, where it becomes incumbent upon the people to follow in his footsteps. And all the prophets shall come from his line, because he is a tree that bears good fruit. More to the point, his actions are enough that I shall say Ibrahim is a nation in himself. So now we must ask ourselves here as youth, are we fata or are we shabab? And if you are a shab, then you must work hard to be a fata. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Speaking of the word fata, let us see where does the Sunnah Nabawiyya stand on the word fata. You see, there have been many fatas in the world, many people who broke down the idols of ignorance, many people who came forward and broke the idols of slavery. But there is one master amongst all these fatas. There is one youth who there is no youth like him. In the battle of Uhud, Jibreel descends with a sword known as Dhul Fiqar, and he gives it to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and tells him, Ya Rasulullah, give this sword to Ali, because Allah in the heavens is saying to everybody, La fata illa Ali wa la sayfa illa Dhul Fiqar. There is no youth who is so deeply rooted in truth such as Ali ibn Abi Talib. There is no youth who is so vigorous in his efforts to propagate truth and prosperity and to stand in the face of tyranny such as Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salamullah. Because the stand of Ali in the battle of Uhud is one that changed the tide. Rasulullah was injured in the battle of Uhud that his tooth was broken. And in the face of all these veterans of war, and when all the Muslims took flight and abandoned Rasulullah, left him alone, Ali, the young warrior, remained by the side of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. That in itself is a great accomplishment, to defeat your nafs that is telling you death is imminent, so run. I mean, humans, we conform, correct? Sometimes you're driving down the highway and you're just right behind the guy in front of you, and you see everybody's driving down the same road and nobody's really taking that empty lane. But the moment someone takes the empty lane, everybody follows suit. We conform. Whatever people are doing, we conform. In fact, the most effective way to propagate something, and we're talking here, branding and marketing. For those of you who are in the field, you would know that the most effective way of propagating anything is word of mouth, because humans like to conform. We're social creatures. Somebody starts talking about a good movie, we go and watch it. Somebody talks about a fancy place to eat, we go try it out. Why? Because it's word of mouth. We do what everybody else does. You're walking down the street and all of a sudden you see 50 people start to run. You don't stand there and say, what happened? You run. And then you start to begin to question what happened later on. But you see someone doing something, you run. That's when you are a shab. When you are a fata, you say, you know what, I'm not running, because I stand for something. So I'm going to stay here and see what's going to come of this. Every single individual left Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and ran. Some individuals ran so far it took them 3 days to come back. How fast were they to abandon their friend and companion? Yet Imam Ali remains. And we are told that the number of wounds that were inflicted on Amir al-Mu'mineen from Sunni references, and here obviously we're talking Sunni Shia, we're just talking about agreed events, and we don't really care for that. What we care for is an example of a youth who is standing firm in the face of all the challenges that are thrown his way, because he is firm, he is a fata, he is not a shab. The number of wounds that were inflicted on Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salamullah were so many that when the medic came to stitch up his wounds, imagine you have an open wound. and right within that wound there is another open wound, and right next to it there is another open wound, that the medic was saying, I would insert the needle into the skin of Ali ibn Abi Talib to tie one wound, and I see the needle coming out of the other wound. Imagine the number of wounds that were inflicted on Amir al-Mu'mineen. It wasn't easy to stand there alone, an individual, facing an entire army who already has the upper hand on you. And he struck them with such ferocity with his sword, and he attacked with 2 spears until his sword was broken. But you know the stand of Imam Ali, what he did a phenomenal thing. You see, imagine, right now it's just me. Just thinking about it is quite scary. If everybody here wanted my life right now, or wanted the guy standing behind me, and I'm supposed to stop everybody here, you probably like shout at me and wave your swords and try to intimidate me so I run off. What's my reaction? Imam Ali's reaction when he saw all the odds coming towards him. You see, your sword has a sheath, right? When you surrender in battle, what do? You sheathe your sword. But Imam Ali places his sword on the ground, gets the sheath, and he breaks it in half in front of them. Do you know what that means in Arabic warfare? It means I have nowhere to put my sword now. So it is a fight. Either you kill me or I am killed by you. Either you kill me or I kill you. But retreat is not an option. Surrender is not an option. That was the determination of Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam Allah in defending the life of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And when he continued to strike and his sword was broken, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala felt an immense source of pride, we can say, in Imam Ali alayhi salam Allah, that it is as if Allah was saying, Oh Ali, the swords of the dunya are not strong enough for the hand of he who was made in heaven. So Allah sends him a sword from Jannah, a sword that Allah commanded the angels to wield for him, and that sword is known as Dhul Fiqar, the separator of the bodies, Dhul Fiqar, the spine breaker, Dhul Fiqar. And it comes to Ali ibn Abi Talib, and Jibreel announces between heaven and earth, there is no fata except Ali, and there is no sword except for Dhul Fiqar. So now, now we must ask ourselves, was Imam Ali alayhi salam Allah only a fata on the battlefield, or was he a fata in every circumstance? And I don't want to go into masaib, but ironically some people have totally misread Imam Ali alayhi salam Allah, and they come forward and say, why is it that Imam Ali was in the house of Fatima, yet he did not pull out his sword if he is such a strong warrior and attack the people that came to hurt Fatima to Zahra alayhi salam? Na'udhu billah, as if they think Imam Ali lost his bravery. Or then they say, because Imam Ali did not fight, then the incident did not happen. Let me ask you a question. Why did Imam Sajjad remain when Bibi Zainab was being insulted by the enemies? Huh? He is an Imam. He carried Dhul Fiqar. He had the bravery of Ali ibn Abi Talib. He is the son of Amir al-Mu'mineen. But why did he not fight? And Fatima alayhi salam and Zainab are no different. One of the titles of Zainab al-Kubra is Khayal Fatima, the shadow of Fatima to Zahra alayhi salam. She is one and the same. She is also known as Fatima to Zuhra, the young Fatima, the second Fatima. Yet her importance is no less than the importance of Fatima Zahra alayhi salam Allah. So why is it that Imam Sajjad did not do anything in Karbala? You may deny the happening of the door of Fatima, but no one has the audacity to deny the tragedy of Karbala. The reason why Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam Allah did nothing on that day is because Allah said to him, Oh Ali, this is a test of your conviction. This is a test of your patience. If you kill these people, forever Islam will be known as a religion of terrorism and violence. If you do anything, you will cause civil war in Islam. You will change the mission of Rasulullah. Oh Ali, will you be patient? Will you be a fatah who is deeply rooted in obedience to Allah? Or will you let the wind of desire for revenge take you this way and that way? Read Dua Kumayr. What does Amir al-Mu'mineen say? Ilahi in sabartu ala narik. Ilahi, I am able to bear the heat of the fire, but I am unable to bear the distance between me and you. Which fire is Ali talking about? If the Shia of Ali do not go to Jahannam, so which fire is Ali talking about? Some have said that Imam Ali here is saying, Allah, I was able to bear the fire of what happened in my house. The fire that was set on my door. The fire that took away from me the amana of Rasulullah. I was able to bear that, and the only reason I was able to bear that is because I did not want to be far from you. Because you wanted it to be so, and I left it to be so. Fatah, firm in everything. Firm when the people were cursing him, he remained silent. Firm when his rights were taken from him, he remained firm. In Saqifa, he remained firm. That is the determination of a fatah, not a shab. A shab is one who is taken by their emotions. Is one who, when they see or she sees something not going their way and people not adhering to their ideology or do not see the same as they see, they ruin their own cause through their actions by becoming rebellious. But a fatah is one who says, you know what, the people will misunderstand me. I will be like Ali, I will remain silent. Because one day Allah will make me successful and I will see that which I had hoped for. On that note, we must see how do the believing men and women, the adults of a community, how do they treat the fatah? We said the shab, we look at them as rebellious so we don't take them serious. But the fatah, when we find fatah in our community, a boy or a girl, it does make no difference. When we find there are youth in our community who are willing to give up their time when they could be out doing anything else. You know, there are so many activities for the youth to do in this day and age. Anything from halal and haram, they could be doing it outside. But they chose, and this was a decision made by themselves through no, stress or duress from anybody else. They chose out of free will, out of love for Ahlul Bayt, to dedicate their free time, to give up their hours, to hinder themselves from their studies, time that could have been spent revising. They spend that time in trying to propagate the message of Ahlul Bayt. Be that by coming to the community here and spending an hour or two, just putting tags on water bottles. Be that in attending a julus. Be that in going to soup kitchens. Be that whatever it may be. But they chose freely to give up their time for Ahlul Bayt. What do we do as a community? We must render them our support unconditionally. We say, okay, you know what the issue is from your point of view, and you studied this. To me, it doesn't make sense. But I can see your level of determination, and I see that to you it makes sense. And that you have belief in what you are doing. So therefore, I will invest time in you, and I will invest resources in you. Because I want to see the name of Imam Hussein alayhi salamullah as much as you going out into the wider community. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa Otherwise, what's going to happen is the inevitable. That one, we scare them away from our majalis. And if we scare them away from our majalis, we did not do amr bil ma'roof. And we did not support them in nahi anil munkar. Instead, what we did is we done nahi anil ma'roof and amr bil munkar. Imam Hussein alayhi salamullah, his entire mission in Karbala was what? أمر بالمعروف ونهي عن المنكر. Therefore, we must not stop them from doing the ma'ruf which they desire. We must encourage them on doing that ma'ruf. And alhamdulillah, in the last couple of days since that town meeting we've had, I've seen tremendous change. Tremendous change. And that is no benefit to me and no benefit to the elders. It is a benefit to the community. The community collectively sat together and said, we will address this, and alhamdulillah, we took affirmative action. And from that action, in the past 2 or 3 days, the number of volunteers that I see, I am enjoying to see that kind of youth activity within this Jamaat. The number of youth that I saw in the Julus is something that warms up the heart. And I'm talking about me. I want to be selfish here. I want to be selfish in this. I'll be honest with you. I gave up my time. I left my family in London, my niece, my nephews, my siblings. And I came here to a community where I don't know many of you. I didn't come here just to talk. I came here because I have a vision that there is much potential in the youth. I sincerely believe in this. And alhamdulillah, for me to see the youth active within a community, I say alhamdulillah, that is the best form of payment and the compensation that I can take, is to see that my words are not falling on deaf ears. And I can say with all pride that when I meet Fatima Zahra alayhi salam Allah on the day of judgment, I say, Bibi Fatima, I hope that you are happy that I was able to mobilize some of the youth. That's me, selfish. I want to be selfish. I want my thawab. Am I wrong in doing that? I don't know, but I will do it nevertheless. When we invest in the youth and make them believe in themselves, inevitably we will see change come about. In the honor of the youth who have dedicated their time freely when they could have been doing anything else, but instead they preferred to do something for Imam Hussein alayhi salamullah, let us not take that effort away from them, and let us honor them with the loudest of your salawat ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. More to the point, on the subject of youth, we must understand that as a community, the elders, and I speak of myself here as well, if you're 16, I really don't have the slightest idea of what you are facing in school. And even if I was there with you to observe, I still wouldn't have an idea. There's an old theory in the media world. People act different when they know they are being observed. It's a simple fact of life. Right now, me and you could be having a conversation about anything, whatever it may be, and someone comes along with a camera and says, hello, I'm going to broadcast this on TV. Can I record your conversation? I guarantee that conversation will be 100% fake. Why? Because I know someone's watching and it's going to go on TV. I need to look my best. I need to look the part. I need to be that kind of person who's only going to speak good things. You will find that that is the truth. Human beings change when they understand that they are being observed. A reality in our deen. Allah tells us in the Quran al-Kareem, I've left 2 angels to observe you, because He knows that it can change us if we're aware that we're being watched. Allah tells us that I'm watching you, because it tells us that He is aware that we will be changing the way we act if we are aware that we're being watched. In the early century, there was a prison in France. And that prison, they realized, I beg your pardon, the study was done by a Frenchman about a prison here in the United States. And what happened is, in that time they had guards walking around with their rifles. And a social theorist came along and he said, listen, I can save you money. And I can save you manpower. He said, how? He said, I want you to construct a very tall tower in the center of the prison yard, where the prisoners play and go out for their activities. And I want this tower to be so high that if I was to look up, I cannot see if someone's there or not. And then what you do is one day you keep a guard in that tower, and one day you take him out. And see if there is a difference in the way people will act in the prison yard. What happened was, in the tower they would just leave a gun there. Now everybody at the bottom is thinking there's someone there watching us, so we're not going to cause any trouble, because from there he can take us out. For about a good 6 months that tower was empty. Not a single fight broke out, because everybody believed they were being observed. But there was nobody in the tower. Likewise, the youth may have real issues. But if we as adults came forward and said, hello, let's spend a day with you to find out what problems you face, believe me, they will not talk about the issues. And you will see them dropping hints to their friends like elbows and winks to say, we're being watched, don't say anything. I know, I was one of them. We keep it low key, as they say, right? So therefore, we must come to the realization that as adults, as much as we love our children, and as much as we care for them, we must also realize that we can't do everything for them. But what we can do is we can empower them to do something for themselves. We can empower them to be positive themselves. And you'll realize that if we always do things for them, when you're too old and you're sitting in the departure lounge on your way out, you will look around and you will think, my God, what have we created? We created a generation of youth who are unable to even serve niyaz in the community because they don't know how to work as one. We did not teach them these skills when they were young. We did everything ourselves. They don't know how to get in touch with speakers and how to raise funds for the majalis of Imam Hussein alayhi salamullah. Electricity is not going to pay its own bills. We did not empower our youth and trust in them, and therefore now they don't know how to do any of this. And we're going to leave our legacy in shambles. So therefore we must invest in them. And we must teach them the importance of what they are doing. As an example, I mentioned, the youth may not be able to do niyaz. I, alhamdulillah, stood there with the guys serving niyaz, and mashallah, you guys do a fantastic job. And I know you're very polite because you think, Maulana, we don't want to upset him. I totally did everything wrong. But you're all tapping me on the back, praising me, saying, mashallah, job well done. But I know you have a way of doing things. And I know that there's a particular system in how it all works. But unless someone spends some time in the kitchen, they're not going to know how it's going to happen. And unless you get your youth into that system is going to die out very soon. And then next thing you know, you come to a majlis on 10 nights of Muharram, and instead of someone cooking niyaz and serving niyaz, you've got Pizza Go-Go delivering some pizza to the majlis. Because that's what the youth know. Whenever they're hungry, they order from outside. They don't know how to make it themselves. They don't understand the number of thawab that they attain in serving their community. One of the greatest things that you can do as a youth for your community is to serve niyaz. Wallah, you may think this is not important, but I can assure you it is one of the greatest thawabs and ajr you can ever attain. You don't believe me? Go to Karbala and see. See how a doctor and a professor and a scientist and a millionaire will stand there serving normal people that he doesn't even know, because they understand the level of thawab that they will get, something that millions upon millions of dollars cannot attain you. They bring you the pleasure of Allah in your life. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa I'll give you one incident that took place in Karbala. This incident, Agha Khouyi authenticates it. Agha Khouyi authenticates this incident as well as a number of other ulama. What happens? There was a man who got cancer, and the doctors told him, you may as well give up. Very wealthy. His children took him to all the best doctors. They said, look, there's nothing we can do to you. So he said to his children, His children are saying, Dad, the doctor said this, the doctor said that. How about we take you to Germany or to America, or we take you to, England, where there's good doctors, because, that's how the youth think sometimes, best is always somewhere else. Why don't we take you there and send you to the doctor, because these doctors don't know anything. He said, look, you're ready to send me to a doctor? They said, yes. He said, why don't you take me to my doctor? They said, who's your doctor? He said, take me to Abu Fadl al-Abbas alayhi salam. So his children carry him because he's unable to walk from the weakness in his body. They place him next to Abu Fadl al-Abbas alayhi salam. He says, now leave me with my Imam. Leave me with Abu Fadl. He ties that cloth, the mannat green cloth we're all aware of. He ties one end to his hand and one end to the dharih of Abu Fadl al-Abbas, and he says, Abu Fadl, I am your captive. I freely made myself your slave. Abu Fadl, I cannot think of any good deed that I have done which will save me on the day of Qiyamah, except that I serve water in the majlis of Abu Abdullah Hussein. I go around and I give water to the people. Abu Fadl, I learned this from you. Because when I grew up, my mother used to say to me, Abu Fadl al-Abbas's only desire was to bring water to Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Do that for Abu Fadl. Make sure the water reaches the Azadaris of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. He says, but Abu Fadl, I don't feel that I have done enough. And these doctors are telling me my life is soon to be over. I am asking Allah by your wasila that He prolongs my life. If there is more service in my life for you, that I can continue to serve niyaz. He's not asking for anything else, just to serve niyaz in your majlis, your Abu Fadl al-Abbas. To take it to the people, to give it to the people, and not let the people come and take it themselves. Because we are capable of going to get water ourselves, yes or no? But there is a level of service. You can go to a 1-star hotel, or you can go to a 5-star hotel. The difference is level of service. And Ahlul Bayt, when you are in their majlis, you must be getting the best of service. Because there is no generosity like the generosity of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salamullah. This man says, while I am in this process of weeping and pouring my heart out to Abu Fadl al-Abbas alayhi salam, all of a sudden I saw a vision of a grand throne. Seated on the throne was Abu Fadl al-Abbas. An angel came up to him and said, Abu Fadl, Allah and His Messenger send you their salams, and they say do not do shafa'ah for him, because his allocated time is soon to be over, and we're not going to give him a green card. Abu Fadl says, return my salam and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Prophet that I, Abu Fadl al-Abbas, humbly request from Allah to remove the title of Bab al-Hawa'ij from my name. Because I have a person standing at my door and I am going to return him empty-handed. So therefore I am not befitting of the title of Bab al-Hawa'ij. The angel goes, comes back. He says, Abu Fadl al-Abbas, the throne of Allah is trembling with rage. Allah says, وَبِعِزَّتِي وَجَلَالِي, by my greatness and my honor, if there is anybody more worthy of the title of Bab al-Hawa'ij, I would have given it to them. But Abbas, you are the first to attain this title. And the man is given shafa'ah, and he continues to serve in the majlis of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salamullah. Imagine Abbas alayhi salamullah, that champion. He prays to Allah to remove his name, his titles from his name, because he is unable to help someone serve in the community. That is how great Niyazi Hussein is. That is how great service of Abu Abdullah Hussein is. That is what we must encourage our youth to be part and parcel of. Be that if they serve Niyaz in the community or they are giving water outside of the community, but whatever they do, they remind people that they are doing this out of love for Muhammadin wa Ali Muhammad. Because inevitably, when we are able to foster this kind of belief and love and compassion and determination within our youth, we will find that come hell or high water, their iman will not shake. Their iman in Ahlul Bayt will not be waved this way or that way. They will be like Ali ibn Abi Talib, standing in the face of all the odds and still remaining firm and coming out victorious. They will stand against the tide. Whether people love them or hate them, they do not lose faith. Why? Because faith, iman, we are told by Rasulullah, iman is not simply lip service. Iman is that which resides within the heart. It is testified by the tongue, and it is proven with the action of our limbs. If our youth are not being encouraged to practice their love for Ahlul Bayt through their limbs, through going out and rendering service of their time and effort for Ahlul Bayt, then it's not true iman. And the only thing that hindered them from true iman would have been our own complacency, our own passive attitude towards the youth. So let us foster this within them, because let me tell you something. As a father, I can hit my son and tell him pray. I can hit him and hit him and hit him. And he will pray, not because he fears Allah, not because he loves Salah, not because he understands it, but he or she prays because they are fearful of me. The moment I am 6 foot underground, he will say and she will say, to hell with this thing called Salah. The tyrant who was here forcing me to pray 5 times a day is gone. The concept of fear is gone. I don't need to do this anymore. But if I foster love for Salah within them, if I encourage them through positive encouragement to pray, then even when I am gone, they will still pray. Whether I am there or not there, they will pray, because it is not me that they love or fear, it is Salah itself that they love and Allah that they fear. Likewise, we must encourage our youth to be active so that they can develop this love for being in the service of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salamullah. So even when we are gone, they will continue this message of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salamullah. Because that is the thing for you, the elder community. You know, we've heard numerous stories over the past few days in our gatherings of how most of these elders became volunteers at the age of 12 and 16 and 8. And you love that because it's your childhood memories. And that's why you still do it today, not because there's someone forcing you to, but because you became one with that ideology. And we must encourage our youth to do so. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. That kind of love and respect will bring about a determination in our youth that regardless of the consequences, they will not abandon Azadari Hussein. They will not abandon Ahlul Bayt alayhim salamullah. Because their ultimate criteria will be one. No matter what the circumstances may be, no matter how life may change, their outlook will never change. That we are propagating the truth, haqq. We are propagating truth, which is the message of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein in Karbala. And we do not care if death falls on us or we fall upon it. We do not care if we lose friends who look at us and think we are stupid. We do not care that when we stand in the street offering people leaflets and pamphlets and water bottles, the passers-by look at us in mockery and think, look at these people. What are they doing? They are humiliating themselves. Because all that matters to us is that we know Allah is pleased with us. Abu Abdullah is pleased with us. Fatima Zahra is pleased with us. Ahlul Bayt are pleased with us. That the first servant of Ahlul Bayt, Abu Fadl al-Abbas, is pleased with us. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Such is the attitude of Ali al-Akbar alayhi salam. But Ali al-Akbar did not develop this attitude in Karbala. It was the fostering of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein from the day Ali al-Akbar was born to the day of Ashura. Abu Abdullah al-Hussein did not wait until Karbala came, when he knew that this is the time that Ali al-Akbar must stand, that he began to teach him what it means to serve Allah. No. Rather, the Imam taught Ali al-Akbar from a very young age how to be in the service of Allah. That when the biggest test known as Karbala came, Ali al-Akbar did not flinch. If we can dim the lights out as we remember this noble youth, let us remember him with a salawat ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. When Abu Abdullah al-Hussein is making his way to Karbala, he looks at this young, handsome prince, Shabih al-Mustafa, beloved of Fatima al-Zahra, the apple of the eye of Abu Abdullah, the fruit of the heart of Amir al-Mu'mineen, the nephew of Hassan al-Mujtaba, the one who is most like Rasulullah in person and personality. He says to him, Ali al-Akbar, what do you see death in Karbala? We are going to die, oh my son. You know what Ali al-Akbar responds to his father? Ya abata, awalaysu nahnu ala al-haq. Oh father, are we not doing the right thing? Are we not with truth? I'm Hussein indeed. With truth. And when Imam Hussein tells him this, Ali al-Akbar says, then it makes no difference whether we fall upon death or it falls upon us, as long as we are on truth. And Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam, when all his companions have given their lives, when there is no one there left to support him, the first of the people to come forward were his Ahlul Bayt, and the first amongst Ahlul Bayt was Ali al-Akbar alayhi salam, that individual who whenever he walked in the community, Ahlul Bayt looked upon him and remembered Rasulullah. Imam Hussein alayhi salam complained to Allah on Ashura. He says, oh Allah, do not let them find peace in their lives. Do not let them find tranquility in their life. Oh Allah, whenever I desire to see Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, I look to the face of Ali al-Akbar, and Allah, they are about to kill my Ali al-Akbar. Ali al-Akbar comes to his father Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, and what way did he go? When Ali al-Akbar comes to Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, how does he seek permission from his father? How does Imam Hussein give permission to Ali al-Akbar? Abu Abdullah al-Hussein and Ali al-Akbar, we are told, they did not even exchange words. Ali al-Akbar came to Abu Abdullah and he embraced him and he hugged him, and they embraced and they cried until they both passed out. Imam Hussein alayhi salamullah, when he wanted to give ijazah, he brings his horse and he gives it to Ali al-Akbar alayhi salam. Ali al-Akbar leaves the khayma. He goes towards the enemies and he's repeating these lines of poetry. I am Ali, son of Hussein, son of Ali. We are closer to Al-Nabi. I strike you with the sword, the strike of a Hashimi, defending my father, Hussein ibn Ali. Ali al-Akbar goes out, he is fighting them, and when he comes to them, the people, half of the army was ready to run. Umar bin Sa'd says, what's wrong with you? Why leaving? They say to him, there is Rasulullah coming to tell us off because we are fighting his grandson. He said, that is not Rasulullah, that is Ali al-Akbar. And they begin to attack him one by one. How can they fight him? How can they defeat him when he is the number one student of Abu Fadl al-Abbas? They were unable to defeat him, so they killed him the same way that they killed his uncle Hamza. Umar ibn Sa'd looks to his spearman and he says to him, I want you to break the heart of his father. I want you to destroy the resolve of Abu Abdullah. He said, how do I do so? He said, look for an opportunity, and when you see there is the opportunity from far, strike him with a spear. Ajrukum ala Allah. He raised the spear, he let it fly, it landed in the chest of Ali al-Akbar. Ali al-Akbar falls onto the horse. The blood from his chest covers the eyes of the horse. The horse wants to return to the khayma of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, but because it cannot see in which direction it's going, it takes him into the camp of the enemy. They begin to raise their swords and land them on Ali al-Akbar. With the final bit of breath in him, he cries out, Abu Abdullah, Akhir as-salam ya Hussein. Imam Hussein they say that Abu Abdullah came like a hawk coming to defend her children's nest. Abu Abdullah came to remove them. When the sun settled, there he saw Ali al-Akbar on the floor. The arrows covering his body, but in the middle of his chest there is this spear, and Imam Hussein wants to remove the spear, but he was unable to. What does he do? Abu Abdullah turns to his Najaf. He says, Mama Ali, he was able to remove the door of Khaybar. Come to Karbala and help me remove the spear from the chest of Ali al-Akbar. Ajrukum ala Allah. You know, when a father sees his child and he is hurting, what does he do? He hugs him, he holds him, he tries to find some form of comforting. Abu Abdullah sits next to Ali al-Akbar, places his head in his lap, but he still doesn't feel that's enough. So he lays down next to him and he feels that is not enough. Then he puts his cheek on the cheek of Ali al-Akbar and he says, oh Jawab, oh you, oh Shabih Mustafa, why don't you respond to me? Zainab al-Kubra saw the state of Abu Abdullah, knowing that the soul is overwhelming him. She came out of the Khaybar. She said, Ya Ali Akbar, Ya Ibn Hussein, Ya Shabih Mustafa. Imam Hussein alayhi salam calls Qasim and Abbas and he tells them, take Ali al-Akbar back to the khayma. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah al-Ali al-azim. Matam Hussein ya Hussein.
هبني بفضلك وتصدق علي بعفوك أي رب جللني بسترك واعف عن توبيخي بكرم وجهك فلم اطلع اليوم على ذنبي غيرك ما فعلت ولو خفت تعجيل العقوبة لاجتنبت لا لأنك أهون الناظرين